He's the mayor of Los Angeles. By the way, the IOC will award the 2024 Olympics and Paralympic Games to Paris, the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games to Los Angeles. The double award hasn't happened in 100 years. And I like that on his first day in office, Eric Garcetti sent a letter to the USOC asking to put L.A. in as the U.S. city for the next Olympic bid. And lo and behold, here we are, Mayor, and you got the Olympics.
Yep.
Good to have you back.
Great to have you in Los Angeles, and happy anniversary.
Well, thank you.
10 years.
Explain the process of trying to sell a city to the IOC to hold the Olympics, and also selling the city on why you want to have the Olympics.
So I've been through, I don't know, maybe 10 political campaigns. This was the toughest one by far, because you only have about 100 voters, and you have about 4 years of the process. It's almost like a high school election. You know, like you have somebody over here saying, I don't like what you said to Susie at the dance, so, you know, I'm not going to vote for you. Or somebody else saying, you've only had drinks with me 10 times, and Paris has done it 12 times. I need to sit down with you more. But you basically have to lay out why your city should add something to the Olympics. It's not just what you'll do for them, but they also want to know how the Olympics is going to change your city. I think they really are idealists, a lot of them, and they want to see what is it going to be that coming to LA is going to be different than Paris, Hamburg, whatever. But first, before you even get there, you got to win the American competition to be the American city. And initially, we lost to Boston.
But when you're trying to get the games, was it a hard sell locally to the residents to say that this is not going to change your life, or it's going to make your life better, enrich your life? How do you sell it?
Not here in LA. I mean, Olympics is in our blood. Like, I remember when I was 13 years old, going to the Olympics, and it was the best experience of my childhood. I watched Carl Lewis and the 4x100 team set a world record. I saw the world on the streets of my city. And so here we had, I think, between 73 and 88% support in 3 or 4 different polls. I mean, here, even in LA, there's not 88% support for sunshine. You know, mothers came in at 75%. So, you know, we're doing better than mothers. But it was like, you know, that's a pretty amazing thing. And so when you go around the city, so many people coming up saying, go for the Olympics, we can do it. And most cities, it's rational not to bid on the Olympics, because why would you go in debt, spend billions of dollars for 17 days? But here in LA, we could do the Olympics probably 2 months from now. I mean, we're programmed, we're ready, we have the sports facilities, we've got cycling, we've got rowing, we've got archery, we've got all these things here year-round, unlike other cities that have to build them. And we've got, at UCLA, the best athletes village, which will be built already because it's just the UCLA campus.
And you have the Olympic torch run, and you were kind enough to say that I could run with the torch for at least a block. Just let me know so I can let that neighborhood know where I'm going to be running with the torch.
It's actually by a sanitation yard. It's a recycling center, so there won't be a lot of people there.
I'm going to feel it
but
at
it's
home.
Going to be awesome. No, it's going to be good.
But it's one block.
Yeah,
I like that.
One block.
Yeah, danitation, we're going to call it. Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm good with that. Will you run with the Olympic torch?
Sure, yeah. I'll take the torch from you if you want.
You will?
Or hand it to you to make sure it's smooth.
You hand it off to me.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think that would be good.
No, I definitely want to. I mean, I won't be mayor in 2028, but I'll be here as an Angelino for sure.
Isn't that weird, though, that you're trying to sell something, acquire something, and then you're not even here in the mayor, you know, the role of mayor?
Well, I told my daughter, Maya, who's 5.5, I said, I want to do this for you. It was the most selfish thing I think I did as mayor. Even though it's for her whole generation, it's for the whole city. I remember what it was like when my parents
She thinks
gave
you're
that
doing
to
it
me.
for her.
Yeah, exactly. And I told her all you got to do is win a medal to make it up to daddy. So she's got 11 years to compete to figure out what her sport is. But I seriously, you know, for me, I think that it is, you do a lot of stuff that's for the future. We passed a measure, we were talking about traffic before here in Los Angeles, to build $120 billion and 15 new lines for public transportation. Most of that will be built when I'm gone. The Olympics will come after I'm gone. We're redoing our airport and bringing public transportation for the first time when I'm gone. So my note to my successor is going to be, just don't screw this up, because they'll get all the good stuff.
When you become president, can we come to the White House?
Sure, absolutely.
We can.
And call me Eric.
I can call you Eric?
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
do people have to call you Mr. Mayor?
No, I insist. My dad once told me, you have to know who you are going into this business, because one day it's going to be who you are going out. So it's always Eric.
Explain something to us, because last time you were on, you're very candid. You're a Rams fan. You grew up
Absolutely.
a Rams fan. Then they left, broke your heart. Now they're back. You said the city would have been fine. You would have been fine with one team. Yeah. Did you talk to anybody about not letting the Chargers come into Los Angeles?
No, I remember talking to the mayor of San Diego saying, look, I know you guys are struggling, trying to figure out a way to keep them there, and my heart's with you. Same thing I said to the mayor of Oakland. And I know teams move, and I get it. And, you know, people will embrace the local teams, especially if they start to win. I think over time that'll be fine. We had a little bit of a claim to the Chargers because they started here, but really only 1 year.
Yeah.
And I just knew what it was like. I spoke as a fan. I got a lot of calls from the Chargers after that saying, what can we do? I said, well, we love that you're here, but I'm a Rams fan. And I think cities, we didn't need to go from 0 necessarily to 2. I'm glad to have both of them here, but I'm a Rams fan through and through.
Because I didn't know if people thought you were misquoted because it felt like you were saying, I love the Rams. We could have done without the Chargers.
No.
So there was a partial quote.
It was
that
like
was
12 days. Yeah, people were like, you hate the Chargers so much. I'm like, no, the Chargers are fine. We love any team that's LA. I just have a ton of friends in San Diego, and I know what that feels like. I remember being a kid and the Rams left, and for 20 years I'm watching TV. I'm not even sure whether to root for them that whole time. I've been rooting for the Seahawks for the last, 20 years or so after they left, which is going to make this Sunday difficult for me, but I'm going to root for the Rams over them. But I just think that, sometimes it happens so quickly, it happens overnight, and this business is always about the bottom line. I just hope that the league in general can really focus on the fans more.
He's the mayor of Los Angeles. Don't call him Mr. Mayor. Eric Garcetti joined us. I don't know why. I guess I can't help but think of your father. OJ got released from prison.
Yeah.
And any phone calls with people asking what your thoughts were of OJ? Not that this had anything to do with what happened with his ex-wife and Ron Goldman, but just the history with your family, your dad.
I had my dad participate in because I had a friend whose brother was the guy producing the ESPN documentary, and my dad hadn't really spoken about it for 20 years. He'd gone on. He's a photographer now. He's a producer for the show Major Crimes on TNT. Like, he has a whole nother chapter of his life. And he asked, do you think I should say my side of the story? And I said, yeah, Dad, that's American history. I mean, you should. And you should teach a new generation everything that was going on. Because even though the verdict wasn't what he wanted or what a lot of us thought OJ should have gotten, my dad used that as a way to raise awareness about domestic violence at a time that people weren't really talking about it. And I think you got to always pump that up. It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month this month. And, I just did a press conference yesterday and I quoted my dad. About 100%, maybe 99% of the guys on death row grew up with domestic violence. So you use these moments to raise awareness. My dad always said, of course, OJ got off for a crime he committed. And the second one, he was overcharged probably. But, maybe it was karma, but now it's done.
Does your dad second guess? Have you ever had a discussion where he second guessed himself with what happened the first trial?
No, he always tells a story about the one guy who said OJ's going to get off for sure was former President Jimmy Carter. He was in LA a couple days before the verdict, and he told my dad, no matter what, OJ's going to get off. And my dad couldn't believe him because he said, no, this is a clear case. The evidence is strong. And Jimmy Carter just said, look, it's after years and years and years of miscarriage of justice on the other side, this will be payback. Trust me, watch it. He's going to get off. And my dad always said he kind of feels like he was maybe a little naive. He thought it was just a straightforward case as a prosecutor looking at it, but it was such an extraordinary case. It had to do with celebrity. It had to do with race. It had to do with all these things over the years. It wasn't just the evidence.
What do you think changed the LA Police Department more, Rodney King or O.J. Simpson?
Oh, Rodney King for sure. I mean, when this city blew up, it was a moment which we had to really dig deep, and not just the police department, but the entire city. When I watched Ferguson happen, I kind of thought, thank God we're not a better city than anywhere else, but we went through it 20 years earlier. I mean, before social media, somebody had a video cassette and taped what happened, and it caused us to reform ourselves, become better. The police department looks like LA now. It comes from our neighborhoods. We've got civilian oversight. We still screw things up. We're human beings. But we have a much more resilient system to deal with it, whereas a lot of other cities are just beginning to figure out how do you do that? How do you get that done?
We appreciate you coming in. It looks like you might have something there. You have a folder. It looks like it's pretty official. I'm hoping you have something there for.
I absolutely do.
Wow.
Not just a
we
folder.
got more than that.
I got right here for you guys. A little certificate. Congratulations,
Framed.
Dan and the Danettes. 10 years right here, City of Angels. This will allow you to park anywhere today you want in the city of LA. But just be careful because there's, Beverly Hills isn't part of the city of LA. Culver City isn't part of the city of LA. But right here in the city of LA.
Now, do I put it on my dashboard?
Yeah, put it on your dashboard. It gets you through the lanes really easily. And call me if you're in jail tonight. Okay?
Do you have a vanity plate?
I don't have a vanity plate.
Did you ever have a vanity plate?
I've never, but I want to get one for the Olympics when we get one.
And what are you going to get?
I don't know. Maybe just get the original one that says LA 2028.
But do you think somebody's already got that?
Maybe now that I just said it, somebody just went, I'm totally screwed.
And then they're going to go, Mayor, if you want it.
I'll just do LA 2029 then. People will be confused, but I'll get it.
That's great.
Awesome. Here.
The plaque is great. Thank you, Mayor. So, yeah.
And go Dodgers tonight, baby. Let's get it done.
Are you going to the game?
I'm not going to go tonight, but I will be at probably the next one on Saturday.
Are you a diehard Dodger fan?
I am a diehard Dodger fan, and I'm worried because the backs have had our number this year, but I think we'll do well in the first 2 games given their pitching rotation right now.
What's the coolest thing you've ever done as mayor, sports-wise?
Winning the Olympics for sure.
But aside from that,
no question. It's actually small stuff. I'll tell you what it was. It was last weekend. I think the coolest thing I did was after 30 years, I got to go to an opening of an archery range with a bunch of archery fanatics. The Eastons, the Easton company that does the baseball bats and stuff. He was an International Olympic Committee member. Opened it up, and I got to officially open it up by having a bow and arrow. And I had, I don't know, maybe 10 bullseyes and 3 or 4 around it, and people were very, very scared. And I like to have that fear when.
Wait,
I'm there.
you had bullseyes?
Yeah, right there, and it was the coolest experience. I hadn't arched since I was in high school, probably.
Wow.
Is that the right verb?
Paulie is an archer.
For arches, I was an archer. Yeah, you look at
awesome.
that.
Longbow?
Oh yeah, compound, longbow.
That was pretty cool. But look, I get to
maybe you could open the Olympics with it. Like the guy did a few years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you could shoot the flame.
Actually, the best was the Kings. I gotta say, when the Kings won, triple overtime, there might have been a little rally afterwards where.
Did you get to hold the cup?
I got to hold the cup.
Did you drink out of the cup?
I haven't drunk out of the cup, but I did have a little controversy at the winning when I said there's 2 rules in politics: never be pictured with alcohol and never swear. But I said, but this is a big effing deal. So that was. I always tell kids, if you're going to swear, just do it positively.
And you did. And that's a lesson to be learned there. Don't call him Mr. Mayor. He's Eric Garcetti. And congratulations.
Thank you. Congrats to you, too.
Yes, thank you very much.
Double digits.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.